He's not just talking financial freedom, he's living it. From stages to sanctuaries, today's guest is using his voice to shift mindsets, inspire purpose, and ignite a new generation of wealth builders through faith-fueled motivation. Hi, and welcome to the You World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life, health, transformational coaches, and spiritual entrepreneurs stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to help coaches and entrepreneurs amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible, leveraging podcasts and Substack. Today, we are speaking with Sebastian Uzcategui. Sebastian is just 22 and is a powerhouse speaker and already captivating audiences across churches, schools, and seminars with a message that blends faith, financial wisdom, and personal growth. From his early start in the stock market to launching Stocks University by the time he was 18, he's now stepping boldly into his next chapter, using his voice to empower others. With over 1,200 students impacted and partnerships with faith leaders nationwide, he's a rising voice for freedom, focus, and financial transformation. His new mission is to empower entrepreneurs who know their purpose to speak on the world stage. Welcome to the show, Sebastian. It's really great to have you here and chat with you.
It's amazing to be here. Thank you so much for having me on and for that wonderful introduction.
You are so welcome. So let's ask you the big question. What's the most significant thing, in your opinion, as individuals we can do to make an impact on how the world is going?
Well, most importantly, as an entrepreneur, there's two different kinds. There are purpose-based entrepreneurs and those who are profit-based. If you're a purpose-based entrepreneur, leverage that. Get out into the world. Make sure that your mission is heard and seen and resonates with other people. If you don't ever have the articulation to speak on your mission, you can't expect it to have a lasting impact. The greatest ideas go to die simply because we don't know how to speak on them and we don't know where to speak about them.
So, what's the difference, in your opinion, between purpose-driven missions and profit-driven missions? I mean, how would
Well,
that look in a practical sense?
you can always tell when there's a business or an individual that's profit based because they're just after, they have this mentality of what can I take from you as opposed to what can you take from me? What can I give to you? What can I leave you with? That is by far the most resounding mark of someone who is actually following a purpose as opposed to just a dollar.
I love that. Most of the people that I speak with are purpose-driven
Mm.
entrepreneurs. We're out there to make a difference in the world, and you really make the difference not by being a parasite onto the world, sucking what resources they have up to hoard for yourself, but by delivering real value in the world. And I think that is where knowing how to share your message is so
Mm.
important. And um, and that's kind of what you do, right? You
Yeah.
teach people how to get their message out there and how to speak. So you want to tell us all about it?
Absolutely. I'm more than happy to. Well, I went from being a struggling business owner for 5 years, and I had a business that was very rooted in passion for myself. I really loved what I was doing, but it wasn't really getting out there. I was seeing no clientele, and I was pretty much hovering in this struggling five-figure range. And I realized people aren't really resonating with what I'm doing because I'm not getting it out there enough. I stepped into public speaking. I got one event and that quadrupled my business and launched it into the six-figure range. One event is what it took to blow me up because for the first time in my life, I got to step away from the social media, step away from the people scrolling past what I love, what my heart is all about, just scrolling past it, not clicking on my ads, whatever, into a world when I can actually get people to resonate with what I'm saying, see it, generate this authenticity and authority in my field, and move forward with that. So for an entrepreneur, I think the one avenue that isn't taking advantage enough is that of public speaking. Getting on a stage, there's no way that you can speak on what you need, what you have in your heart, and not get that to resonate with an entire audience to come into your world and follow your mission. So I not only refine voices, I do speaking and coaching as well. But most importantly, I want to practically, in a real measurable way, get all my speakers out into the world stage, get them to speak in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people at a time, and launch their career in whatever field that they are in.
I think there's a real difference, and most people don't recognize it right off. The difference between speaking into a space where you're attracting an audience who's already mentally prepared to receive your message
Hmm.
versus doing advertising, which is a way of speaking. We call it, marketing is speaking. It's getting your message out, but it's getting your message out in front of people who aren't expecting it. And it's
Mm.
much more difficult to make an impact these days in that realm because people want real connections. We've all moved to the internet and we do a lot online, but we really crave the one-on-one or one to many experience that you have even when you're sitting in an audience, you're shoulder to shoulder with other people who are resonating at the same frequency you're resonating at.
Exactly. Exactly right. What you're describing is the difference between like a cold lead and a hot lead, right? And when you're speaking on a stage, you are instantly generating thousands of hot leads. Now, more than this authenticity or this connection that we want with each other, there's a key difference between what the world was 20 years ago, when if you went online, everyone really cares about everything, right? Because it's still just a change from we just developed the internet, right? 20 years ago, entrepreneurship was completely different than it is today. But you're absolutely right. People crave connections today. They're just scrolling through everything. But when you get on a stage and they feel for the first time that this is not a screen, this is love, this is blood, sweat, and tears that got poured into this. And this is someone that has the courage, the audacity to get on a stage and preach what he loves and get you to listen and resonate and say, this person speaks for me on the same exact things that I believe. It's completely different. It's a game changer. And in my opinion, I've been running businesses since 16. I've seen everything that works and everything that doesn't for myself just by being young. I've been in the game for a while now, and it's a different world. All the entrepreneurs that we grew up, I grew up listening to, had none of the obstacles that I have today or that I had to overcome. And today's world is highly competitive, oversaturated with inauthentic voices, and it's important to be one of the real ones in order to get your mission across.
They might not even be real voices these
Yeah, the AI
days.
generation now, right?
Yeah, it's really getting to the point where you don't know if is it live or is it Memorex? It's an old
Yeah.
commercial from way before your time, I'm sure. There's a special magic to sharing your message in community with other people. And do you when you tell us about how you help people get on different stages because um different purposes look for different venues and there's bazillion venues out
Of
there.
course.
So
Right. Absolutely.
how do you help them?
Well, I built my agency from the ground up. It's all self-owned, and I actually did it while running multiple businesses, not only my speaking one, but my finance business as well. So I always, when I'm speaking to my new clients or my new speakers that I'm going to put out into the world, it's very important to listen to them very attentively to see exactly the audience that they need to be in front of. Then I communicate that to my agents and I make sure they're looking for stages in that field, which we have a large database of multiple different fields, although my speakers tend to be relatively in the same domain. It's usually coaching. It's usually in finances. It's usually in things that align strongly with an emotional reasoning, right? Like, hey,
Mhm.
financial freedom. I I want to be the solution for families to develop this financial freedom or independence for themselves. Or coaching. Hey, I want to be a solution. It's people that want to bring out solutions. So I've got a huge database that I just connect them to depending on what their audience is. So if I got coaches, I'm going to send them over to a place of entrepreneurs that need their help. If it's someone in finance, same deal. I'm putting them out exactly where they need to be.
Yeah, I love that. Can seem like it's such an intuitive thing, but it's amazing how many people struggle to find the right place to speak. I
Mm.
see it with coaches that come to me and they're looking to get on podcasts. I love to feature people on my podcast, but my podcast is not for everybody.
Yeah,
And it's a really
absolutely.
hard thing for people to understand. Just because you're invited to be on a podcast doesn't mean it's a podcast that's going to be effective for you and being able to do the research behind it. And it sounds like you have a team that specializes in finding the right venue for matching your speakers up so that they're spending their time in an effective space and not
Yeah,
just spinning their wheels, showing up and not getting any results from it.
exactly right. Also, funnily enough, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
But what a lot of speakers do, or I guess inexperienced or freelance people that just kind of
Mhm.
find their own events, they do what I call it's one of the sins of speaking, and it's preaching to the choir, right? So let's say you're a coach, but maybe you're speaking in a room full of other coaches, right? Or you're a realtor speaking in a room of other realtors. What you should be doing is speaking in a room full of entrepreneurs that are looking for a coach, that are looking to step up their game. Or if you're a realtor, speaking in a room full of home buyers, right? And it's very difficult when you're doing things solo and don't have someone with a database to back you up to really get that done. You kind of just take whatever events are thrown at you, and a lot of the time, the venues that I see, the ones that I don't really go back to, are again preaching to the choir venues, where it's this is a room full of entrepreneurs with the same message or not the proper audience. When you're speaking, it's almost just a form of networking, and you want to be in the right rooms. So it's important to really analyze your audience and think where would they be, and then find that exact place to speak.
And know what you want to offer them. I see so
Yes,
many people that are like, "Hey, I want to be here.
everything.
I want to be everything, or I want to speak in front of your audience, but I don't really know what I want them to do when they're done listening." It's like,
Right.
well, why are you talking, and how much value are you bringing to them if you don't give them a next step to take? So that's to me, that's an important aspect of it.
Yeah, it's a huge aspect of speaking is knowing exactly what you're going to put out into the world. And that's something I see a lot of early entrepreneurs struggle with is shiny object syndrome, where they're having a really difficult time figuring out exactly what they want to root themselves into, right? That's something that I also help with. One of my first speaking clients that I started putting out in stages was this lady, an older lady that had such a beautiful heart. She was such a giver. She had a giving soul. Something I wanted to, she wanted to put out so much, but nothing was refined. So it was like this big misty cloud of things that I kind of want to do, and that doesn't hit at all, right? So I taught her how to condense that into a bullet. All these different ideas that are all hazy into a bullet of impact that when she speaks, it's very clear exactly what she's putting out into the world. So we help with refining products, refining voices. It's one of the most important things to do because again, you can really be the best speaker in the world. You can have the best audience in the world, but if you don't know what you're selling or what you're doing or what you want to put out, you're not going to get anywhere either, right? There's a lot of nuance in that world of speaking. You're absolutely right.
And there's differences between getting on different stages. Some stages will pay you to come and talk about a topic because you're delivering. It's the act of actually giving the speech delivers the message that you want to share, and you get paid for that. Otherwise, you can go on stages where you're not paid to go on this stage, but you better be making an offer or selling a book or something because uh,
Exactly.
again, it's the whole wasting your time by
Hmm.
not knowing what the
Right.
purpose of the thing that you're doing is, the speaking engagement that
Exactly.
you're.
Exactly right. Now, speaking in itself is already a six-figure career. My goal for all my speakers is by the end of the year, have them getting paid at least an additional $5,000 to $10,000 their first year through speaking arrangements, which isn't particularly difficult to do at all. Speaking is very lucrative. Now, pair that up with being an entrepreneur, and it goes from being already a six-figure career to something that can potentially break seven figures or more, right? Simply because of the fact that when you're speaking, you're building so many things at once. People don't realize it, but you're building your own name, probably the most important thing, because with that, you can grow anything. You're building a network. You're selling your product. You're selling your speaking services. You're traveling. That's all always huge. You're doing so many different things at once. So, you know what they say about vertical income as opposed to horizontal income, right? Vertical income meaning you're doing the same thing, you're selling multiple different sources of income within the same field. Horizontal means you're doing a bunch of different things that don't necessarily have synergy amongst each other. That's a beautiful part about being on a stage is you're doing everything perfectly in alignment with each other, especially as a coach. You got a book, you got your service, you got your speaking. All those things are already sources of income. And every millionaire, as you know, should have at least five to seven sources of income. So that knocks out more than half of them.
Yeah, and it's really the whole idea of product stacking. uh, I think people get the idea that, well, I just have to do, I'm a coach, so I do one-on-one or I do groups. Well, no, honey, you got to write a book. You got to do um, a variety of different offers within your coaching package because not everybody's going to want your 5,000 or 10,000 or $25,000 whatever or your retreat. I, they they need little pieces along the way to get to know you. And speaking is a great way to get your message out in a way that allows other people to, I call it stalking, but they get to know you without having to have anything invested themselves in it. They can
Right.
do it a little bit of anonymously, unless you're speaking in a in a live person to person venue. I mean, if it's online, then people can just kind of
Yeah. Take the time
participate
with it.
anonymous.
Absolutely. And I mean that's always a very big deal, especially when you're doing these arrangements. You always want to have as many things as possible. When you're building a personal brand, as in you're building your name, that's the most effective thing to do. Brands come and go. I've spoken to brand building experts, social media experts, and it's funny. They'll tell me, "Yeah, I've built some brands that have like 100,000 followers, and they come and go." They said it themselves. They come and go. Those brands come and go, but your name is forever, right?
Mhm.
So I realized I invested a lot of resources into my first brand of finance, and it it came and went, right? It was cool. But once I moved on to my next project, what was I really left with? I wasn't left with anything, right? I had to build my name up from the ground still, right? If I would have invested those same resources from scratch into my name, I would have been way further ahead by now. So building your personal brand puts you in a position where now you can sell or stack as many different services or products as you could possibly want. Everyone's going to come to you because you are the expert in that field. And that is really where the power of it comes from.
What do you tell your introverts out there who are entrepreneurs, but they're like, oh, I'm not
I
getting on
love that.
stage?
I love that question. I love that question. So believe it or not, I'm an introvert by a lot. I'm a huge, huge, huge introvert. But introverted simply means that, in my opinion, this is how I define introverted, right? Is you like your alone time. It takes maybe energy to socialize. It takes maybe energy to be on a stage, but there's no entrepreneur that is too introverted to speak for one reason that I already know. As an entrepreneur, what defines your entire existence is you put that effort out, you put that war out into motion, right? And I'm a huge introvert, but if I know that what I need to do to get my campaign, my war of my purpose out there into the world, progressing this mission of mine, I know that I got to fight for it. I know that I'm going to get on a stage. I have no problem with that. I go back home, I get a tub of ice cream, and I sit in bed and I watch Netflix. There it is. That's my introverted experience right there. But
Mine
um,
too.
yeah, and then I'm cool with that. I'll go on a stage, burn myself out, speaking a little bit, and then I go back home and then unwind. But as an entrepreneur, you are by nature someone who's prepared to fight, and that is where your fight lies. It's on that stage. It's crucial. And I have trained people that are naturally introverted to sound more than extroverted. And when they tell people that they are shy, they don't believe them. It's unbelievable. But it's just a question of refining your voice. That's all it is. You can be introverted and still have a refined voice.
There are tricks too.
Yeah.
And also knowing the subject that you're talking about makes you a lot more relaxed when you're speaking on a stage or in front of a large
Mhm.
audience. I can remember the first time I had a job in sales and I was selling truck driving careers. That's what I was doing. And there was a slideshow that went with it, and I was supposed to give this presentation in front of groups of maybe, 25 to 50, primarily men at the time, um, and talk them into truck driving, which is, it
Right.
can be a very miserable career.
It's
But
tough. I got family that does that. It's tough. Yeah.
it's tough, but somebody's got to do it. And my job was to talk these guys into it. So the first time I did it, I was like shaking and stumbling all over the place. But the fifth or sixth time I got up in front of them, I was like, this is what it's
Right.
like, and this is so cool. And they're like,
Right.
all
That's
right, sign me up. Like,
that's a
okay.
tough thing to do. I mean, it's a tough thing to do, and it's wonderful that you overcame that.
Mhm,
That's what I see all of my speakers do in real
mhm.
time. I put them up on
Yeah,
smaller events as they're getting launched up, as I can give them their pointers and their coaching to refine them up. And the next thing you know, I mean, because they've so deeply internalized their message,
yeah.
so there's a difference between winging it and planning it. You don't want to fully plan something, you don't want to fully script it,
Mhm.
and you also don't want to fully wing it, right? Instead,
Right.
my script is all the speeches that I've done that I've fully internalized in myself to the point where I can adapt and be flexible with any conversation, really. I don't plan anything because a plan I've already made over the thousand arrangements that I've had, right? So when you're speaking from a place, again, of the heart, of passion and purpose, it makes it significantly easier because let me put it this way. How often do you stutter, stumble, or get nervous when you're talking to your family? Really never, right?
That doesn't
But
happen.
it's because you're speaking on things that simply are you. They belong to you. You don't have to think about them. Once you truly are aligned with what you're doing as an entrepreneur and you get on a stage, there's been times I've gone on stages completely without a script or a plan, just prepared for whatever, right? Because I'm speaking on myself. It's the same as if I was having a conversation with my family. This is me, and I'm just vocalizing it. That's all it is.
And the one hidden thing back behind all of this is what your purpose is. At the end
Exactly.
of the day, even in this conversation we're having, that ultimately you want to offer the audience the opportunity to work with you so that they too can get on stages and get their message out in a way that um allows them to make an income. It's like
Right. Yeah,
at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. All content is created to drive revenue.
mm. Well, create to drive revenue, and more importantly, again, it's this almost religious like campaign that you have going on, and I think every entrepreneur should have. Every entrepreneur has. It's even in the 48 laws of power. It's you should have a clear goal, a
Mhm.
clear enemy, if you want to put it that way, whatever it may be, right? And so it's a question of I want people to take advantage of the same things that I've done. I think every entrepreneur is someone that paves paths. You're stumbling because it's the first time that you've walked through it and nothing was paved, nothing was done for you, but you've made that path for others now, right? So I've been a speaker on the United Nations, I've been a speaker on television, I've been a speaker in front of hundreds of people. And what I want to do, what I am actively doing is making sure that, hey, you don't know where to go, you don't even know where to start as a speaker, but you know that that's where your direction lies. All right, that's fine. I got you. All the events it took me years to find. I can just set you right up with those people, refine your message so that it aligns perfectly with that set of people, that stage, and get people going that way. But that is how you launch a everlasting career. Everlasting. When you build a name, 10 years on the line, hey, I came up with a new business plan, or hey, I want to do this or that. This is my new calling, my new passion. It's already done for you. You already have the audience and the base for it. So I make sure that all my speakers, when you search up their name, they're all that comes up on Google. And that's always my guarantee, if you want to put it that way, for each and every one of my clients. You will be the only person with your name that you can search up online.
I love that. I was thinking about Tony Robbins when he first got started.
Mm.
I lived in San Diego
Mm.
when he first wrote The Giant Within or Awaken the Giant Within. I think that's the name of his book. I remember when he was writing it, I knew somebody that knew his ghostwriter. And I went to one of his first conferences where he referenced someone that was actually my neighbor.
Wow.
Um, but he too started speaking because Tony Robbins is a speaker before he
Right.
is anything else. And he
Hmm.
started out, he was selling his book and an idea that we have everything we need inside of us. And that was his
Right.
big idea. And all speakers need to have one big idea, and everything else gets stuck to it. And that's how your message goes out. And to this day, I mean, he's been around for what, 50 years, 40 years?
I can't believe I never heard of this book. I am writing this down. You said Awaken the Giant, you said it was called?
Awaken the Giant Within. I think it's his first book
Wow, incredible. I can't
back
believe,
in the 80s.
yeah, I can't believe I never heard about this. But yeah, I'll
It's
definitely look
because you're
into it.
young.
Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah, the only books I mean, I've read some of the classics, but I haven't read that. That's a beautiful message, though, and I think it's absolutely true. Without even knowing it, I feel like I've aligned very deeply with that exact message because that's the first thing that I
Mhm.
tell all of my speakers to do is, hey, whatever you're doing, make sure that you build a story, Make sure that you build your unique idea. Make sure that you build like your calling, your call to action, your purpose behind everything, right? You need to
Mhm.
have a compelling story. And it doesn't mean that you need to have some crazy background. No, it simply means that you want to share what you have, dramatize it, expand on it, and really drive home the emotional points. Even the most simple things can be the most compelling stories with the right articulation. Now, with that done, it's pretty much all set. Once you have that refined and ready to go, you can pretty much go anywhere and see the results of that. You can see how human beings are like instruments, and we have to resonate with instruments. We have to tune ourselves. But as a speaker, your job is not only to tune your own voice, but to tune your audience to listen to you. When you speak on your story, you become a human being that they can relate to and connect to and prepare to follow whatever they say next. That's very important. I'll definitely read that book.
Another trick that I've learned over the years is that you can connect your message to a message that your audience will resonate with. Like I talk about Tony Robbins and that experience that I had all those years ago. It's a true story, but it attaches my name to Tony Robbins, just like Tony Robbins
Mm,
attached his name to Mother Teresa and Captain Steve Coffee. I actually knew Captain Steve Coffee. When he
wow.
was talking about it, it was just like, oh, so it at a time you've got to remember back in those days he was just another person like all of us
Right.
coming up. He was young and he had an idea and he was trying to get this message out. So he needed to attach that message to other people who were proving his point. Steve Coffey
Right.
was
Mm,
he was in Vietnam. He was a Vietnam War veteran, and he was a prisoner of war for 7 years. And he talked about that for most of his career after the military when he was out of the Navy. Uh, and Tony Robbins had I don't know if he'd met him or just stumbled across his message, but he he was borrowing authority from somebody else. Like Mother
mm,
Teresa, she was very popular back in the 80s and everybody knew who she was.
right.
Um, and so he was borrowing their authority. It's
Right. That is a very powerful speaker tool. And really, we do that at all times, right? So, for example, when you start a business, or let's say my time in real estate, when I was 18, I was a realtor. I had my real estate license. And when you're 18, no one wants to do real estate with you because you're just a little kid, right? Now, one thing that I was able to do to actually see some success as a realtor was leverage the authority of not only my firm, but my mentor as well, right? So when I'd go out, I'd always go out with him. I'd always do deals with him. I would make sure that people understood that. As a speaker, you're kind of doing the same thing at all times. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you're building your credibility up. Really, so the issue is people think that you have to be some kind of, genius, mastermind, credible expert with 100,000 followers to really see any traction, but that's not true, right? Because one of the most powerful tools as a speaker is, or as an entrepreneur in general, is that exact thing. Building up credibility and reputation through others, through what people can say about you or you can say about them a lot of the time, and connecting your message to other speakers that have already kind of proven that point through their existence is such a huge tool. I teach something very similar to that, but I love the way that you worded it. Connect your message to other names that prove your point. I love that exact wording. And I'll definitely be incorporating that into part of my coaching program. Thank you for that.
You are so welcome. And another kind of thing that people need to be aware of it when you go on a stage, you're also connecting your name to the other people that are speakers on that stage. So you need to be very careful about which ponds you're swimming in.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of I have yet to find, well, actually, believe it or not, I may have. There was one stage I never went back to, because one of the hosts post my event what is ended up getting into some controversies. You do sometimes connect your names to some of those people, but the most important thing is you want to make sure that whenever you speak at an event, you're a keynote speaker, right? You are kind of like one of the spotlights of that, so that you're your own show, right? And in today's world, you're not known as, oh, you're the guy that spoke on this or on that. No, you're known as, oh, I saw your clips online, or hey, I saw that recording of that, or hey, I saw you live. That's it. So It's not the same world as it was before, where you're all in the same ship and you all go down if something were to happen, which is, I mean, it's never really the case. But in today's world, everyone is their own spotlight. So from one event, that's what's cool about it. You also get your social media work done in one go. I have a social media team that works with all my speakers to make sure they take a million clips from their speaking arrangements and makes content out of that. Now, whenever I speak, it's I go on a stage, I speak for an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, and then people make all these little clips about what I'm doing, and then they post it online. And that's really that spotlight that follows me around whenever I do speak. It's not really, hey, he spoke at this event or that event. It's, hey, this is Sebastian Uzcategui speaking on financial freedom or on this or on that. And I guess that's where the power comes from with the synergy of today's world. I view social media as something that kind of came and went a little bit with entrepreneurship because it's so oversaturated. But the synergy between that, the spotlight effect of social media and public speaking, they do go hand in hand very, very well. That's a great point that you bring up.
So how can people learn about what you're doing and how can they work with you? How does all that look?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I like to speak to everyone directly. This is still a passion project for me. I'm very passionate about everything that I do. And because of that, I want to personally hear about what my potential speakers are going to want to put out into the world, who they are, what their mission is. So the first and foremost biggest way for people to reach out to me is by scheduling a call with me directly on my website, which is speakup.express. That's always what I recommend most. There'll be a link there to schedule a call with me. There's even some videos there as well, some resources. But that's really the most important way. And if you really look up my name anywhere, you will find my websites and all my numbers and contact information anyway. But that's most important to me.
Awesome. And probably can find you all over social media as a speaker because that's that's how you get your message out.
Right. Exactly right. Yeah. So I'm on a lot of different platforms, but I always do still choose to speak with people directly. The process really just looks like that. It's a quick call. It's kind of me understanding where they are, seeing if we can work together, getting my agents to also chat with them and get this document filled out where they can actually build a press kit, a portfolio for them and leverage every single thing that they've had. Like in your case, we could take all the podcasts that you've done, we could take all the places that you've spoken at, all the experience that you have and begin to build a portfolio that now that in itself is an asset. That is a
Mhm.
huge asset. Good portfolio, guess what? Just like stocks, just like anything else, you invest that by putting this, growing it on bigger events, bigger events, bigger events. Every time you can leverage for something bigger because your name has achieved a higher level of notoriety. So that's the way the process really looks like. SpeakUp.Express is the only real destination for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sebastian. It's really been great chatting with you.
Likewise, thank you so much for having me on. It's been an honor.
To learn more about Sebastian and working with him on having him help you get on stage, go to speakup.express. And I want to I'll be sure to put those in the show notes below. Thank you for tuning in with us today. If you have a podcast or are interested in starting one, please be sure to reach out to us at support@heartlifecoach.com. We love to help spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches amplify their voice and monetize their mission and offer a variety of ways to do this leveraging Substack. Join us for our next episode as we share what others are doing to raise the global frequency. And remember, change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today and get visible.